Hey guys, welcome back. Today I'm going to be talking all about makeup tools, mainly brushes. So what I'm going to do is I'm basically just going to walk you guys through some of my favorite brushes and kind of what I use them for, and I'm going to just tell you guys how I clean my brushes. So first off, I want to say that you can use any brush for anything. There are no rules when it comes to makeup. I think anybody can use whatever brush they want. They can use whatever they want for, you know, lipstick, eyes, whatever your little heart desires, you do. Makeup is fun and it's all about just playing and having a good time. So I don't really like to say like you have to use this brush for this, you have to use this brush for this. A lot of the time brushes can be used for different things, so it's really nice that, you know, you can kind of mix things up and use one brush for powder and blush, or blush and bronzer, or, you know, a crease brush for your eye, as well as a brush that puts it all over the lid. So yeah, I'm just going to share with you guys my favorites. All of these are affordable, so let's just go ahead and jump in. Okay, so first I'm going to start with face brushes. The first brush that like I don't leave home without. If I travel, or if this wasn't in my collection, I wouldn't know what I would do. This is the small tapered brush from e.l.f. And if you guys can see, it's really small. It's like tapered, obviously, so it comes to like a little bit of a point. It is perfect for setting the under eyes. I like take this in my powder and I just tap it under here to set the concealer. It's also really nice for contouring because it does have that point. You can really get into those cheekbones and just kind of buff it out. Now the e.l.f. brushes, this is a studio brush, and they're all $3, and they're so soft, and I've had this one for a long time. I wash them, none of them, you know, shed or, you know, break or anything like that. So for only $3, this is just a steal, and it is amazing. I love this brush. I guess we'll just continue on the e.l.f. train. The next e.l.f. brush is the mineral powder brush. It's really small, and it's just cut like flat It's cut flat across, and it's really fluffy. I love this for highlighting. It really just gets the highlighter on very well, and it buffs it in a little bit so it doesn't look like you just have like a line of highlight. It really looks natural. You can also, I think this is small enough, you could really use this to contour. If you don't want a super harsh contour, I think you could use this and it would work really well. Again, this is a part of the studio line, and it's $3, and this is the mineral powder brush. I don't know if I said that or not. Mineral powder brush. Okay. The next brush, I don't know. It's a tie between like the small tapered brush and the small stippling brush. Like which one is my ultimate favorite brush from e.l.f. Because I don't know. I can't decide. Anyways, this is like perfect for so many things. It's amazing for cream products. I use it for cream blushes. I love it for cream contouring. I'll like put the contour color down and then I'll buff this, or I'll buff the color out with this brush. It just because of the way it is, and it's got, you know, hairs that stick up, it buffs things in so nicely. And just for cream products, I don't think there is another brush out there that is better. So I definitely love the e.l.f. small stipple brush. And I know that they do sell these 3 at Target. I have seen these at Target. So if you're in Target and you see these, definitely pick them up. They're amazing. Okay, so the next e.l.f. brush is the contouring brush. This, I've only seen it online. I haven't seen it in stores yet. It is relatively new. So it looks like this. It's just cut like straight across. It's really small. It's got a pinched ferrule to where it makes it like a little rectangle. This is just awesome for buffing in powder contour and really getting it, you know, where you want and just buffing in that color. This is a knockoff of the NARS Ita brush. I think the NARS Ita brush was like the first contouring brush to ever really hit the market. And that brush is like extremely expensive. This one is not. This is only like $6, I think. And it's really nice because you can use it like this and really like carve out the cheekbone. And then you can turn it and kind of buff out the color so it looks less harsh. I think that this brush is just really great, and I like that e.l.f. is doing brushes like this now. It makes it more like, this feels more high-end than it actually is, which I love. Okay, so the next e.l.f. brush is from it's the complexion brush. Again, I think this is $3. It's just really fluffy. It's got a pinched ferrule though right here, so it kind of goes out. This is really nice for blush. I love it to bronze. I love to use it for bronzer just because it is pinched. You can kind of get it, you know, a little bit more exact, like where you want it, and it really is nice for the forehead when you're bronzing and stuff. So that's my favorite way to use it, but I do like it for blush as well, and even just for powder, like for setting powder, I really like to use this. Okay, so this next brush is from Eco Tools. It is I think it's called like their powder brush. Again, you can find this at a drugstore. It's similar to the e.l.f. complexion brush, but it's not as pinched at the ferrule as the e.l.f. one is. So this I love just for setting powder. It makes it's super light, like it gives you a light dusting of powder, which I like. It's very hard to like overdo your powder when you use this brush. So I love this brush, and Eco Tools brushes, they're so soft. I could just like feel them all day long. Okay, anyways, but yes, love this brush, definitely recommend. Okay, my last face brush is from BH Cosmetics, and actually e.l.f. does make one that's similar. It's just a little bit bigger, but I like the one from BH better. So, but if you don't want to order this one, then you can go for the e.l.f. one. I know they sell this one at Target. Anyways, so this one I love for foundation because it's not too big that you really can like buff the foundation into your face, and everything just stays like where you want it to. It doesn't get super sloppy, and I like that it's cut super flat across and it's very dense. So you can just like you can just like place the foundation on your face and then work it in. So I love that for foundation. Okay, so moving on to eyes. Mainly like the 3 eye brushes that I really want to talk about are this one from e.l.f. This is the e.l.f. Professional Eyeshadow Brush. This is only $1, first of all. Second of all, it's amazing. They are so good for packing shadow on your lid. I have other brushes that like I could use for this, but I just like that it's thin and it's tapered and it's kind of like tightly packed in there, so you can really just pack on the color. It's perfect, and for only $1, you seriously cannot beat this brush. The next brush is also from e.l.f. and it is actually called their Flawless Concealer Brush, but I use it on my eyes. This is what I was talking about when I said you can use brushes for anything. It doesn't need to be what they actually say they're supposed to be used for. So this is the Flawless Concealer Brush, but as you guys can see, it's super fluffy and it's really short. So I love to use this as my like buffing color on my eyes. I either will take it clean and like buff out a color in the crease, or I always start my look with a light color in my crease just to help every eyeshadow blend a lot better. So my favorite is Makeup Geek's Peach Smoothie for that. So I love to take Peach Smoothie on this and really just buff it into the crease, and it's perfect because it's so fluffy that it just kind of gets the color where you want it and blends it out really nicely. I just think that even though this says it's a concealer brush, and I have used it for concealer, and you know, it's good that way too, but I really like it for the eyes. The next brush I want to talk about, I've already talked about. It's in my favorite online cosmetic companies where I talk about BH Cosmetics. I talked about this brush, but I want to mention it again just because it's like my one true love. So this is the BH Cosmetics blending brush. It's like perfect. Like this is like perfection in a brush. I love it. So it's really great for just, again, blending out the crease. I blended a hair into my face when I did that. It's small enough to where you can really like get it where you want, but it's fluffy enough that it still blends. And it's not like tightly packed in there. You know, the bristles aren't like super dense or anything. So it's just really nice. It's so fluffy. And this is really, really inexpensive. So I just think if you're going to get anything from BH Cosmetics, get the blending brush because it's amazing. I love it. Yes, I just kissed my brush. Judge me. Just kidding. Okay, so yeah, I just like to blend with this brush. I use this brush every single time I do my eyeshadow. I just think you cannot beat it. It's amazing. So the last beauty tool I want to talk about is my Real Technique sponge. Again, I've talked about this, I think, in my contouring video or something. I don't know. But I really like this. Now, it's a dupe for the Beauty Blender. I have never actually tried the Beauty Blender. The Beauty Blender is a reusable sponge. It was kind of like the mother of all of these like sponges that you see on the market. But it's $20. And my mind cannot justify spending $20 on a makeup sponge, even if it is reusable, when I can go and buy this for $5.99. Now, I will say, some of the dupes out there suck. Like, they are not good. I like Ulta brand stuff, but the Ulta brand sponge, I remember I tried it and I just was not a fan. But this one I really, really like. So the concept is you get it wet, you squeeze out all the water, and it's really nice for foundation, concealer. Really, it can be used for anything you want. And the water in this sponge, it'll just soak up any extra product that you have, so you don't get like cake face and, you know, all that gross stuff. So I love this little guy. I think for $5.99 you really can't beat it, and like I said, it is reusable. Okay, so speaking of how this is reusable, I want to talk about how I clean this and how I clean my brushes. So my favorite way to clean my brushes is to mix Dawn dish soap and olive oil, which I know sounds a little crazy, but the oil really breaks down the makeup, and the Dawn dish soap is antibacterial, so it will really clean your brush of all the bacteria that's in it. And also the oil will help keep the bristles really soft, so your brushes, you know, they don't get dried out from using the dish soap. So what I do is I will take some Dawn dish soap and some olive oil, and I will, you know, squeeze some on a little plate. I'll take a brush, swirl it in the little mixture, and then I will just kind of go like this underwater, and it really just gets all the product out. If you guys try this, let me know what you guys think, because it's amazing how much you see like all that makeup come off. Especially if you're washing a brush like this that you use for foundation or something, you can really just see all that makeup get out of your brush. And then like this part is normally white, but it looks like tan right now because I've used it for foundation. But once I clean it, it's like white. It's awesome. So that's how I wash all of my brushes. It's really simple. And then to dry them, I just, you know, will like pat them on a towel, and then I leave them overnight to dry, and by the morning they're dry and I can use them again. So for this, I do the same thing. I wet it like I'm gonna use it, and then I put some Dawn and some olive oil in my hand. We'll run the sponge all in it, and then I'll just squeeze it out under some water. And then this is like where it gets a little different. I take a little bowl of water, and I will put the sponge in it, and I'll put it in the microwave for like 30 seconds. The reason I do that is because even though you're cleaning the sponge with dish soap, sometimes it doesn't get all the way into like the core of the sponge, you know, like the middle of it. So microwaving it will help kill all of that bacteria in there. The heat will just destroy it, so you won't have any more bacteria in your sponge. So what I do is I do that, I put it in the microwave, I take it back out, I obviously let it cool or else it's gonna like burn your hand off. And then I will, you know, run it under some water again, maybe do one more round of olive oil and dish soap, and then just squeeze it out, and I let it dry overnight, and it's good to go. But I really like the technique of the microwave with the sponge, just because I know that it's killing all of the bacteria in the sponge, which is the most important thing. I would wash your brushes, like, I probably wash mine like once a month. I just give them, you know, a good cleaning, and like I said, I normally do it at night, let them dry, and then by the time, you know, I want to do my makeup the next day, I can use my brushes again. Alright guys, so those are my favorite brushes and my tips and tricks on how to clean them. So if you guys like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to the channel and share it with your friends, and I will see you guys next time. Bye!